as Captain Jack Harkness. Mr. John Barrowman.
I like being in the middle. I love you too.
Okay, so it sounds like a good portion of you have seen the full miniseries. Is that correct? So, just want to talk to you all about the concept for this. A little bit darker, a little bit more intense than previous series of Torchwood. Where'd you come up with the story and the decision to go with the 5-night format?
It was a combination of two things. Practically, the show was moving on to BBC One in the UK, and it was a series Torchwood's changed every single year. It started on BBC Three, it moved to BBC Two. It was moving on to prime time, BBC One, the big mainstream channel in the UK. Part of the discussion was, part of the discussion about that move was how to make it feel like a really big event. And in all those conversations, it was, well, what type of story could we tell across 1 week of transmission? And so then Russell started to think about stories.
I suppose, yeah, it's funny because we never actually sort of said, let's make it darker, ever. And that's never an agenda sort of stuff. It's just, we had to make it bigger. We had to make it stronger. We had to make it work because it was a very interesting thing in moving something onto the primetime channel. Little knowing back then, 18 months ago, that in doing so, we'd triple its ratings.
Yeah!
So, you don't sit there and think, let's make it the #1 show on Twitch television for 5 nights running. You just think, oh God, let's just make it work. Please let people watch it. So I suppose the intensity came out of that, like please watch, please work. So because if that hadn't worked, it would have been the end of Torchwood. So that's where that strength came from.
Yeah.
Yes.
John, you've had some experience with the American TV audience. How do you feel about the response in America to the show as opposed to the response in the UK?
Well, first off, the response in the UK has been absolutely brilliant and overwhelming. And the UK is Torchwood's home, but we found a second home like I have, and in retrospect, looking at, I do both countries in a sense, and there was no pun intended either. To have another home in the US on BBC America, and to be able to launch BBC HD with Torchwood, and to have the ratings that we've had in the US, where we have was it tripled or something? I'm probably wrong, but don't quote me then. But we've done amazingly well on here, and the American audiences have taken to us like a duck to water in a sense, and it's am I right to say we always wanted it to happen, but didn't expect it to happen in the way that it did. It's been like a massive tidal wave that's just overwhelmed us all a little bit, and all I can say from the bottom of my heart, I know these guys feel the same. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Harris, as director, talk a little bit about the challenge of this format, the 5-night serialized bang, bang, bang. How did you approach that and getting on that story?
I mean, as Russell said, we wanted to be bigger. We wanted to have bigger laughs. We wanted to have bigger sorrows. We wanted to have a huge scale to the series. So when you're making something of that scale, for our budget, it's a huge ask. And we had the most brilliant crew, fantastic cast, great support from our producers and execs. So as a team, I think I as a director kind of turn to them and rely on their input to make the show work.
Yeah, but you were pretty damn good yourself. I mean, because one of the things that, and I say this as an actor, when you have a new director, and Eros has a huge, as you all know, an amazing track record with Doctor Who, and has done some brilliant work on Who. So, the cast when he comes in, we're like, okay, all right, so he's coming in, but we all sit down and we talk about it, and we had that initial meeting, and you find out what direction you all want to go in, and you just go with it, and things do change as time goes on, and it's a learning process for everybody, but you did an absolute amazing job. And he's also very cute, isn't he?